Hello and welcome to Solitude, an easy snowy landscape. Here is the full video as promised. We're going to use just one color, Payne's Grey. I've added masking tape for a nice clean horizon, and while the paint is wet, I've added distant foliage. Some darker values of the same color, a few leaves, and some distant trees. This is a very simple painting and I hope you will find it easy to follow. I'm painting distant trees now using a very light value of the Payne's Grey. A few more faraway trees for depth. And let's remove that masking tape now. Do you see the clean horizon? With a damp brush, I'm just pulling the paint out so you get a little bit of a shadowy effect, just like one would see in a snowy landscape. I'm just, brushing it lightly across the paper. I'm adding a few rocks or pebbles partially hidden in the snow. Just a little of something, a little of nothing. Just a few dabs and dashes. Maybe right there, I'm going to add a nice tall tree. And another one. I like my trees to be different, a little slanting, as trees normally are. I like my trees to be unique, to have some sort of unique characteristics. Some tall, slanting, different shapes and sizes, straggly branches, each one beautiful and unique in its own way, just like us humans. Just adding a few roots, pulling the paint out really, and a few branches. For the branches, I'm using a very fine liner brush and just dragging the paint out lightly at the sides. Little irregular lines. I am wiping some of that dark paint out using a clean, damp brush. This gives it a bit of a highlight. And I will dab it up with a tissue too. And now for the fun part. With my little brush and a tiny bit of paint, I literally scrape and scratch at my paper, creating the impression of leaves or foliage. A few more scratches with my nearly dry brush. And I have quite a believable set of trees. For these very distant trees, I like to use a very light paint, a lighter value of the same color. And if it's too dark, I'll just dab it off with a tissue. So it gives an impression of the fuzzy distance. And again, I'm just scraping my brush to give an impression of distant leaves. I think I'll just add a few small marks in the snow. Maybe just to suggest, perhaps, footprints, some shadow, just a few little light marks. I'm just adding a few little details out here in the foreground. Some shadows, a little bit of pebbles or stones, a little of something, a little of nothing. Just a little more. Just a few more details. A few rocks, some shadows maybe. I might add a solitary figure just to complete the mood of solitude. Maybe that's a traveler or just someone taking a walk in the woods. I like my paintings to be open to interpretation. It is an invitation to the viewer to a place of comfort. I hope you enjoyed this little demonstration, and I hope it inspires you to try something like this on your own. A few birds. And we're all done. Do consider subscribing, and thank you for watching.